I had another idea for a video because this has been a recent issue. I've had some interpersonal issues, like with the way that I don't know, carry myself, with the way that I interact with the world around me. Some people in my life have taken issue with it. Mostly my father, which, I mean, this is not the first time, of course, because he finds that the way that I carry myself is, like, not considerate of the position that I am, that I hold within my family. That, like, the way that I am reflects poorly on my family, which, to that I say, like, at some point you're gonna have to let me live my own fucking life. But, you know, whatever. It's not like I'm a sex worker, not to disparage sex workers, but my family would definitely look very poorly upon that. It's not like I don't know, fucking hurting people. I've been told, not just by my father, but by my husband, that I am a narcissist. I've been told by a few people that I am a narcissist, which I find not particularly offensive, because I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they're trying to convey in saying that. And, like, layman terms, it's like, you know, a person that's just really self-centered. They're really focused on themselves, which I am a person who does put a lot of focus on myself, because I feel like at the end of the day, that's all you have is you. You were born into this world by your fucking self, and you die by your fucking self. So if you are not able to reconcile your issues with yourself, to feel comfortable with yourself, then there's really, like, no point. To me, that's what it feels like. There's really no point to existing if you can't exist comfortably within yourself, and that's something that I've been endeavoring to do for a very long time. And in that is a lot of introspection and, you know, building of oneself. And so I could see why a person would see a person that's very self-absorbed, very self-involved, and assume that they're a narcissist. But to me, it's just a different way, a different perspective of seeing the world, and plotting your importance in the grand scheme of things in your life. But yeah, I have had people say that they think I have narcissistic personality disorder, to which, like, it's just untrue, because, like, a big part of being a narcissist is narcissistic supply, and the way that I derive my supply isn't from other people. I don't look to other people for any type of validation. And I mean, it's probably, looking to other people for validation for, like, you know, everything is unhealthy. And it's probably also unhealthy to do it the way that I do it, where I only look to myself to feel content with myself. But that's the way that I've always been. I'm not really all that affected by, like, compliments and praise, but I'm also not all that affected by criticism. Like, even criticism that isn't constructive, to me, it's just information. It's, you know, to take at face value, to take that information in, and to do better. That's, like, the driving force for me behind criticism. I know some people, they're doing it to make you feel bad, but if you can stand to benefit from changing your behavior, from changing the way that you do things, I feel like it's a win for you at the end. And then, you know, with praise, it's just continuing to do those things that you're being praised for, do them better, maybe. But yeah, to me, looking to others to derive any feeling of contentment, any feeling of fulfillment, is pointless. I think it is just not a good idea. Because in life, all you really have is yourself. You're born into the world by yourself and you die by yourself. And I think relying too heavily on others is not really like a source of weakness, but you could very easily not have that person tomorrow. And where will you be if you're relying on them so heavily? So if I was a narcissist, I'd be like the shittiest narcissist ever. Because I don't get my supply from others. Narcissists pretty much parasitize others. Whether it be, getting others to feel sorry for them or putting others down to feel better about themselves. That's not something I do. It's just interesting that people would have that thought about me, like in general, because I'm just so far from it. So far from wanting to engage with others, to be around others. I just feel so drained by other people that I just rather be alone, y'all. I just want to be alone. I just want to be alone. And that's just not the way the world works. Unfortunately, I have to, figure out a way to navigate between, what reality is and how I work and how I best function within the world. And hopefully one day I'll get to a point where I can be alone. That'll be fucking nice. And I also get the very real fear for people that are raised by narcissists, the fear that you will become one. I understand that shit, because you spend so much time being beaten into submission by this narcissist that you feel like you're going to start emulating their behaviors, that the way that they show love is the only way that you can express it and that you can accept it. But there's some reprogramming, some unlearning that you have to do in interacting with a narcissist over extended period of time. But for me, I never really thought that was something that was an issue for me. It was an issue, having to unlearn things, but I don't think that I have emulated that behavior, as far as, putting people down in order to feel better, just because that's just not something I am particularly interested in. But yeah, narcissism is an interesting topic, and I know it's been a hot button topic recently, and that's why so many people mention narcissism, talk about it, because it's become more of a household name or household word. But what are y'all's thoughts on narcissism? As far as growing up with a narcissistic parent, or, maybe thinking that you have kind of started emulating this narcissistic behavior from a narcissist, or having to deal with a narcissist, or, I don't know, maybe thinking you're a narcissist. I am interested in knowing, even people that have been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, how is that? How do you interact with the world? Because I figure it's kind of a lonely existence. But I'm interested in knowing. So what are y'all's thoughts? Until next time, deuces.